Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Habits, again joined in person by Ryan. Today we're going to be looking at a Yeti variation, and this is the Chocolate Oak Aged Yeti. You saw me not too long ago review the Espresso Oak Aged Yeti, which was phenomenal. Now this is just basically the same thing, just with chocolate instead of espresso. 9.5%. Says it's a stout aged on oak chips with cocoa nibs and spice added, and the spice is actually cayenne pepper, which is kind of interesting to use in a chocolatey beer like that, Imperial Stout. So yeah, should be interesting. Yeah, it pours really, really dark. It's like pitch black. There's like no light penetrating this beer at all.
Yeah, alcohol legs on there. The head's pretty dark on this beer too.
Yeah, it's fairly dark actually.
I mean, I get like pretty much like straight up brown on it.
Brown, yeah, dark roasted kind of color.
Yeah, get the nose.
Whoa, that's very chocolatey. Wow, that smells really nice.
A lot of chocolate, a lot of roasted character.
You actually do get a little touch of like spice, like the cayenne.
It's very subtle.
It's so subtle.
Yeah,
it's like a subtle tingle in your
You probably wouldn't know it was there, but you might say like, what's there? But you couldn't probably pinpoint it.
Oh yeah,
but
it's probably because we know the...
Yeah, but if you know what's in there, you can kind of start to look for it.
Oh, wow, a lot of both like milk chocolate and dark chocolate in there for
caramel, some breadiness.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of like vanilla, just lightly.
Yeah, you get some vanilla. You get that oak component comes through more vanilla than like an oaky tanniny kind of aroma. Which
pairs really well with the chocolate. It really smells like a real nice dessert beer. I'm thinking something along the less sweeter version of something like Southern Tier chocolate, almost actually, because it's super chocolatey.
Yeah. Well, ready to dig in?
Yeah, this smells amazing.
Yeah. Cheers.
Oh wow, that's great.
It's so good.
Oh, it has a almost light smoky kind of character to it.
It's really smooth though.
Yeah.
Up front.
Super smooth.
Just coats your mouth pretty good. I mean, would you go full on body? It's getting close to being completely
I'd say
full
yeah.
body. It's right there.
Yeah. It's not. Well, yeah. I'd say it's actually on the full side. It's got a real nice creamy texture to it. A little bit of dryness on the palate too.
Yeah, I think the alcohol helps out the dryness, and then the oak's gonna, there's not too much of an oak tannin, but there's enough in there to kind of add to a dryness. The roast character that, like you said, it goes almost smoky in the back end. Really helps kind of dry it out.
A lot of chocolate, like chocolate really shines through, like both dark and milk chocolate, I'd say.
Oh yeah. The cocoa nibs kind of tends to be, I think, a little more dark, and then probably the malt chocolate character is more.
It helps balance onto the milky flavor, yeah. And then also, I don't really pick up too much of that cayenne pepper kind of spice to it.
I think that kind of, it's in the finish, and it's just there as a background note. I think that the cayenne kind of works well with the oak.
Even though the oak is very subtle though. Yeah,
the oak's pretty subtle. It's definitely a chocolate forward beer.
Yeah. I get a solid, like a little bit of dark fruity flavors too in the first sip. Like a little bit of the dark fruity flavor. It doesn't really go too much in like of a coffee kind of flavor too. That's, for example, well, the espresso has coffee in it, so it's got a lot of coffee flavor. But it kind of feels a little bit like the espresso version, just like with much more toned down coffee flavor and much more chocolate, because the espresso had quite a decent amount of chocolate flavor to it too.
Yeah, up front's where I get that sweetness. You get the sweet caramel, kind of bready with those dark fruits coming into play. Like right up front, sweetness, and then transitions to big chocolate, and then it dries out. And yeah, just a hint of cayenne in there, just kind of keep things interesting.
Just lightly. It's really tasty. I mean, if you're a person who likes sweet beers like me, you'll love this. I think it's really tasty. And it's real harmonized with the rest of the beer. It doesn't get like cloyingly sweet at all.
Yeah, I think it's really balanced overall. I mean, the base Yeti is a pretty hoppy beer.
Yeah.
But, if you age it for a while and then add maybe some, these other components to it, they're going to change the dynamic.
And all, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, grading-wise for me, this one's an easy A. It is my favorite variation of the Yetis I've had, other than the 100% barrel-aged version. But to me, the original, this one, those are my two favorites. Just because this one has a lot going on. with the oak, the chocolate, but the touch of cayenne kind of adds in, and it's such a great base beer. And I think the base beer works really well with what they're adding into this particular version.
Yeah, Yeti is a really good base Imperial Stout, and just that they have these different variations is awesome. Like rating wise for me, I'm right there with you. I'm like 95. This is a fantastic Imperial Stout. This is like if you can get any of the Yeti variations, you need to check them out because they're phenomenal. So yeah, guys, that does it for this beer review of the Great Divide Chocolate Oak Aged Yeti. Remember to let us know what you think of this beer if you've had it. This is definitely, like, you need to check this out if you like any of the Yeti beers by Great Divide. Yeah. So yeah, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter. Thanks to Ryan for joining.
Yeah.
We're going to say cheers, and we're going to see you guys in another beer review.